Warning. The program you're about to watch contains explicit language and descriptions of adult themes and graphic violence that people may find disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
The morning sun stretched across the horizon as Karda and Jadak set off on their journey. The path ahead was rugged, winding through hills and uneven terrain. They climbed steadily, the incline growing steeper. "Try to keep up," Karda called, her breath steady. Jadak smirked as he passed her with ease. "Your armor is slowing you down. Plus your wounds. I need my armor. What's a knight without her armor?" Karda shot back, adjusting the weight on her shoulders. "And my injuries seem to be healing quite nicely." Jadak glanced at her. "Isn't a knight a code, not an armor?" He continued ahead, reaching the top first. When Karda finally caught up, she was panting. She looked down at her armor, then exhaled. "I guess you're right." With a decisive motion, she unbuckled the heavy plates and let them slide down the hill. "I'm still a knight, regardless of the heavy metal," Jadak chuckled. "Now you decided to get rid of your heavy armor. When we are already at the top," Jadak teased her. "Oh, shut up," Karda responded in annoyance. Together, they pressed forward. By midday, they arrived at a small town. Karda wiped her brow. "Let's rest there a bit." "Agreed," Jadak said. They found a well and drank deeply, the cool water refreshing after the long walk. "Whew, that was satisfying," Karda sighed. Jadak nodded in agreement as he took more sips. "Okay, time to eat something," Karda said, leading the way to a small shop. Jadak followed. As they ate, a disturbance outside caught their attention. A little girl stood surrounded by a group of thugs. They both stared at the commotion. "Try not to draw attention," Karda murmured. Jadak ignored her and got up. "What kind of knight are you?" he asked. "And don't say one of a kind, either." Without waiting for a response, he strode toward the group. "Hey, that's enough," he said firmly. One of the thugs turned, smirking. "Trying to be a hero?" one of them shouted. Jadak took a step forward. "You leave Iris alone." His words came before his thought. The gang wasted no time. A fist flew, striking Jadak in the jaw. He staggered as more blows followed. Before he could react, they swarmed him, fists and boots landing with brutal force. He curled into a ball, shielding himself. Karda shot to her feet. She rushed in, shoving them back, her fists and feet striking with precision. The thugs didn't stand a chance. Karda was an experienced fighter. One by one, they stumbled away, disappearing down the street. Jadak pulled himself up, wiping blood from his lip. He turned to the girl. "Are you okay?" She nodded. "Yes, I'm okay. What's your name?" "Ella," she said. Karda crossed her arms. "Told you not to draw attention. Now you're all bruised up." Jadak shook his head. "I can't stand watching people bully little kids. It's not the time to play hero," Karda muttered. Jadak ignored her. He knelt beside Ella. "Let's take you to your mom." Ella hesitated before taking his hand. Karda tossed some money onto the table and followed them. When they arrived at Ella's house, she pointed. "This is my house. Thank you, mister." "I'm not a mister. My name is Jadak." Ella smiled. "Okay, Jadak." Jadak knocked on the door. The door opened, revealing her mother, who pulled her inside. "I told you not to go out there alone, Ella." She glanced at Jadak and Karda. "Thank you." Then, the door shut. Karda sighed. "Are you satisfied now?" Jadak exhaled. "Yes, she is safe now." Karda rolled her eyes. "Ugh, let's stay here at the inn. I need a shower and some new clothes." As the sun set, Jadak turned to Karda. "Hey, train me. Now?" she asked, raising an eyebrow. "Yes, now. That was our deal." Karda hesitated before nodding. "Okay, fine." Before they could step outside, a commotion broke out in town. A thick column of smoke billowed into the sky. They rushed toward it. Ella's house was engulfed in flames. Soldiers in elite armor stood outside, gripping Ella's parents. The little girl was held between them, her small frame trembling. "Where's the device?" the elite captain demanded. "I don't know," Ella's father said, his voice shaking. The captain's expression remained cold. "Kill the mother." A soldier stepped forward. The blade flashed. The woman gasped, then crumpled to the ground. Karda stiffened. "This is too much," she muttered before charging forward. Jadak, however, didn't move. His breath caught in his throat as memories flooded back. His village in flames, his sister's death, his neighbors screaming, his own helplessness. His body refused to obey him. "Now, where's the device?" the captain asked again. Ella's father shook his head desperately. "I don't know what you're talking about." The captain sighed. "Kill the daughter." A soldier stepped forward, sword raised. The father struggled, but they held him back. Jadak stood frozen in shock, unable to move. Karda, however, sprang into action, charging at the elite warriors. She fought fiercely, but they quickly overwhelmed her. Suddenly, eerie laughter echoed through the area. The battle paused as everyone turned, searching for the source of the sound. A shadowy figure moved at incredible speed, striking the elite soldiers with such force that they were sent flying into nearby buildings. The captain tried to track the figure, but it was too fast. Before he could react, the figure struck him in the chest. A flash of light burst from the figure's hand, and in an instant, the captain was reduced to dust. The figure then turned to Karda. She steadied herself into a fighting stance, watching as the flames illuminated only his silhouette. He moved toward her with blinding speed. She struggled to follow his movements, but before she knew it, she had already taken multiple hits. A sharp pain spread through her body as the figure dashed past her. Only then did she realize she had been struck. Groaning in pain, Karda clutched her wounds. The figure spun and delivered a powerful kick, sending her crashing into a building. He then leaped into the air, floating effortlessly as energy gathered in his hand. With a sudden release, he unleashed a massive blast. The explosion tore through the area, engulfing everything in destruction. As the smoke and fire raged, the figure vanished into the night. By morning, the devastation was clear. The fires had been extinguished, but the town lay in ruins. Debris covered the streets, and the air was thick with the scent of smoke and ash. Jadak searched frantically through the wreckage until the firefighters found Karda. They had pulled Karda from the rubble. She was alive but badly injured, her body covered in dust and cuts. "Karda!" Jadak rushed to her side, offering support as she struggled to stand. They walked a short distance away, still shaken by the night's events. "Where were you when this happened?" Karda asked. "I was standing over there," Jadak explained, pointing to a spot in the distance. "When I tried to help, the firefighters stopped me and told me to leave the area." Karda's expression was distant, her voice filled with disbelief. "He's real," she blurted out. "Who's real?" Jadak asked. "Kadaj. Kadaj is real. I fought him," Kara said with her hands trembling. Jadak frowned. "Did you see him?" "No, I saw nothing but flames," she admitted. Karda stared at him. "Did you not see the explosion he made? The firefighters said there was a gas heater that exploded," Jadak explained. Still shaken, Karda insisted. "I saw him." Her voice shaky. Jadak sighed. "What did he look like?" "He was moving too fast, looked like a shadow silhouette." Jadak shook his head. "That's no detail. You're still in shock." "You don't have to believe me," Karda muttered. "I don't," Jadak admitted. "You're making no sense. You saw him, yet you described him as a shadow figure?" Karda ignored his skepticism. "We have to talk to the father. He knows something." Jadak hesitated, then nodded. "Okay, let's find him." They made their way through the ruined streets and found the father, a weary man weighed down by grief. "May we speak with you?" Jadak asked. The father eyed them suspiciously. "No. Who are you two?" "I'm Jadak, and this is Karda," Ricky answered. Recognition flickered in the man's eyes. "Jadak, my daughter spoke your name." Jadak nodded. "I was the one who helped return her home." The father sighed, his expression softening. "My little girl trusted you. You must be a good person." Karda wasted no time. "The elite said something about a device. What did they mean?" The father's eyes widened. The device to control Kadaj. "Do you know where it is?" Karda pressed. The father hesitated. "I don't know where it is, but it's not a device. It's a person device." Jadak frowned. "You're speaking in riddles, old man." The father shook his head. "The device is not an object, but a living thing. It was hidden many years ago. Now no one knows where it is." Karda exhaled. "All right, thank you." The father lowered his gaze. "If I may be excused, I need to mourn my losses." Jadak and Karda nodded, stepping away. As they walked, Jadak turned to her. "Did that make sense to you at all?" "Only a little bit," Karda admitted. "At least now I know it's not an object we're looking for." She looked ahead, determination in her voice. "Let's pack up and head out of this town." As they prepared for their departure, Jadak glanced back one last time. Smoke still curled into the sky, a reminder of the destruction left behind. Without another word, they continued their journey. As they neared enemy territory, Karda's voice was firm. "We are getting close to enemy territory. Be alert and be careful." "Got it," Jadak replied. The landscape shifted as they stepped across the border. Dense trees surrounded them, the thick canopy casting deep shadows over the forest floor. Moving swiftly and silently, they tried to avoid detection, but their luck ran out. "Halt!" A sharp voice cut through the air. A soldier emerged from the shadows, his comrades quickly falling into formation beside him. Weapons at the ready, they blocked the path forward. "You're trespassing. Please turn back around," the soldier demanded. Karda and Jadak instinctively raised their hands in surrender. The enemy soldiers, however, were unconvinced. They tightened their grips on their weapons, tension crackling in the air. "Run!" Karda shouted. In an instant, they turned and sprinted deeper into the forest. The soldiers gave chase. Twigs snapped beneath their feet, branches clawing at them as they ran. Suddenly, Jadak's foot caught on a hidden root. He stumbled, then plummeted down into a cave. "Jadak!" Karda lunged forward, arms outstretched, but he was already gone. She had no choice. She turned and kept running. "Split up," one of the enemy soldiers barked. Half the unit pursued Karda, while the others made their way down into the cave after Jadak. Karda fought fiercely when they finally cornered her, but she was outnumbered. Within moments, she was overpowered, restrained, and taken into custody. Meanwhile, deep in the cave, Jadak groaned as he tried to navigate his way back up. His vision adjusted to the dim light, but before he could move far, the enemy soldiers closed in. One of them struck him hard across the head. His world went dark. Jadak awoke in a small, dimly lit jail cell. His head throbbed. He sat up, taking in his surroundings, realization hitting him like a wave. "Where am I?" he muttered. Minutes passed before heavy footsteps approached. A guard appeared, unlocking the door. Without a word, they pulled him up and escorted him down a long hallway. They entered a chamber where a figure stood waiting. "Here is the man you asked for," the soldier announced. The lieutenant turned to face him. A woman, her presence was commanding, her expression unreadable. She studied him for a moment before speaking. "What is your name?" "What is it to you?" Jadak asked. "Fine, your fate is in my hands. You can cooperate or rot in that cell," the lady said with a firm voice. "Jadak," he replied. "Why were you in our territory?" she asked. "I was looking for a device," Jadak explained. The lieutenant raised an eyebrow. "A device? For what?" "To control Kadaj." Recognition flickered in her eyes. "So, you have heard the stories too." She crossed her arms. "Why would you want to control Kadaj? So I can stop him and kill him myself." Jadak's expression hardens. "Interesting." She paused. "You wouldn't mind helping us then," the lieutenant said. Jadak hesitated. "If I knew how, I would." "Where is my friend?" he asked after a moment. "Oh, the girl you were with?" the lieutenant said, her tone almost amused. "Yes, Karda. Where is she?" Jadak demanded. She tilted her head slightly. "Karda, huh? How close are you to her?" "We're friends. I was helping her find the device." Jadak explained. The lieutenant considered this before making an offer. "All right, I'll make a deal with you. If you help us, I'll let her go. What do you say?" Jadak clenched his jaw. "Do I really have a choice?" "That depends on how much you care for your friend," she said coolly. A long silence stretched between them. Finally, Jadak exhaled sharply. "Fine, but I'm not your soldier. What should I call you?" She chuckled softly. "My name is Yamil." Jadak gave a short nod. "All right then," Yamil said. "We leave in 30 minutes. Where are we going?" "To an ancient temple in the forest. To find the device," Yamil explained. With that, preparations began. 30 minutes later, the group moved through the dense forest. The towering trees blocked out most of the light, plunging them into eerie darkness. Yamil led the way, her soldiers close behind. Jadak followed, eyes scanning the surroundings. Then the air shifted. A deep, guttural growl rumbled through the trees. From the shadows, a monstrous figure emerged. It stood at least 15 feet tall. Its hulking body was a grotesque fusion of beasts. Muscles rippled beneath dark fur, horns curled like a bull's, fangs glistened like a tiger's. It moved with the power of a bear, its massive tail lashing behind it. The creature roared, shaking the very ground beneath them. "Spread out," Yamil shouted. Weapons were drawn as the soldiers engaged. The battle was fierce, but the monster was relentless. Jadak barely had time to react before a powerful blow struck him. The beast's massive arm slammed into his body, sending him hurtling through the air. He crashed into a tree, the impact knocking him unconscious as he tumbled into thick undergrowth. The rest of the squad continued fighting, but one by one, they fell. Only Yamil remained, panting, bruised, cornered. The beast loomed over her, its eyes burning with primal fury. It took a step closer. She had nowhere left to run. She fires, but the gun clicks. As the beast throws a powerful punch, a shadowy figure suddenly appears, intercepting the attack. With a calm yet firm motion, he raises his palm, effortlessly blocking the strike. The force behind the beast's blow creates a gust of wind that rushes past the figure, sending Yamil flying backward. She tumbles through the air before hitting the ground a few feet away. The shadowy figure immediately engages the beast in battle. He launches a series of rapid punches, each blow landing with precise force. The creature retaliates, swinging its massive claws, but the figure is faster. Seizing the beast's horn, he wrenches it to the side, using its own momentum to hurl it through the air. As the beast crashes through the trees, shattering them in its wake, the figure doesn't hesitate. He flies forward at full speed, delivering another brutal combo, sending the creature tumbling even further. The beast lets out a pained yelp as the final punch lands squarely in its stomach. The impact shakes the ground beneath them. The beast swung its tail at the figure in the last ditch of effort. The figure simply grabs its tail and whipped it in a circular motion. With the momentum, it releases the tail, sending the creature flying, breaking through huge trees. The figure moves in a quick flash and appears behind the creature. The creature finally stands up, scanning the area for the figure. The figure smirks, standing back to back with the creature. With a hard elbow, it slams it into the creature's back. The monster lets out a loud roar. It tumbles into the ground and skids to a stop. The creature stands up, dazed and battered. The creature shrinks down to the size of a small puppy. Whimpering, it tucks its tail between its legs and scurries away in fear. Yamil struggles to her feet, her breath heavy and uneven. She stares in shock at the figure before her. "Kadaj?" she exclaims. The figure slowly turns, allowing her a brief glimpse of his face. His features are eerily human, yet undeniably demonic. Jet black hair falls around his face, while the back spikes wildly. His glowing red eyes pierce through the dim light, and his fanged canines glisten as he cracks a smirk. Fear grips Yamil as she instinctively steps back. Without another word, the figure leaps into the air and vanishes into the forest. Still panting, Yamil struggles to process what she just witnessed. A moment later, Jadak crawls out from the wreckage and finds her standing frozen in shock. He grabs her by the shoulders, shaking her. "Hey! Yamil? Are you okay?" Jadak asks, concern in his voice. "He's real," she manages to say. "What? Who's real?" Jadak presses. Kadaj! Kadaj is real." Yamil breathes, her mind still reeling. "Snap out of it. What happened? What happened? Where's the monster?" "Kadaj, that's what happened," Yamil replies, still dazed. Frustrated and confused, Jadak shakes her again. Jadak shakes her again. This time she blinks and refocuses. "Let's go to the temple and find that device," Yamil says with determination. Jadak hesitates for a moment, but eventually nods in agreement. The ancient temple is filled with faded symbols and cryptic drawings covering the stone walls. Dust lingers in the air as Yamil and Jadak step inside, scanning their surroundings. "Make sense to you?" Jadak asks, frowning at the strange inscriptions. Yamil's eyes narrow as she studies one particular carving. It depicts a figure eerily similar to Kadaj. "That must be the demigod Kadaj," she mutters. Then, realization dawns on her. Looks like the device isn't an object, it's a vessel. "A vessel? You mean like a container?" Jadak asks, confused. "Yes," Yamil says, her voice firm. "There's no device here to control Kadaj. Maybe the device is the controller." "What? You make no sense," Jadak grumbles. "Come on, let's go back," Yamil says, already heading toward the exit. "Wait a minute, you said you would free my friend," Jadak reminds her. "Yes, once we get back." Yamil responds without looking back. Back at the facility, the heavy metal door to Karda's cell creaks open. She steps out cautiously, eyes scanning the area in confusion. Moments later, Yamil and Jadak arrive. "Jadak!" Karda exclaims in relief. "What's going on?" "I made a deal. You're free to go," Jadak tells her. "A deal?" Karda asks, suspicious. Before Jadak can react, Yamil suddenly shoves him into the cell and slams the door shut, locking it behind him. What? This wasn't part of the deal. Jadak shouts, stumbling backward. Karda stares, stunned. Hey, let him go, she demands. No, we're safer out here, right, Kadaj? Yamil says coldly. Karda's eyes widen. What are you talking about? Jadak grips the bars, furious. You're the device, aren't you? Yamil accuses. I don't know what you're talking about. Let me out of here. Jadak protests. I can't let you roam free, Kadaj. Chaos follows you, Yamal says, her expression unreadable. Karda watches the exchange, frozen in disbelief. How did you figure? Karda asked Yamil. He was the only one left alive in the forest when we were attacked. After the incident, he came out unscathed. That's when I put it together. Yamil explained. Then suddenly, Jadak's voice shifts, his tone deeper, darker. You think these bars will hold me? He says, his voice unnervingly calm. Both girls freeze, eyes wide in shock. Jadak? Karda whispers. Jadak blinks, his voice returning to normal. What? He says, confused. Like I said, we're safer out here, Yamil mutters. Karda and Yamil exchange a glance before turning to leave. Hey girls, this is wrong. Jadak yells after them, gripping the bars. Yamil doesn't answer. She simply locks the door and walks away. A sudden explosion erupts from within the cell. Yamil panics, fumbling for the key. When she finally gets the door open, she and Karda rush inside, only to find the cell empty. The ceiling above is blasted open. This can't be good, Yamil mutters. Before they can process what happened, an alarm blares. Yamil sprints toward the control panel, grabbing the microphone. Everyone, evacuate the building. I repeat, evacuate the building, her voice echoes through the speakers. Panic spreads as soldiers and staff scramble for the exits. Yamil and Karda push through the chaos, trying to escape. Then, from above, another explosion. A blast from the sky tears through the structure, sending a shockwave through the facility. The force of the explosion sends Yamil and Karda flying, debris raining down around them. They land hard but manage to survive. Groaning, Yamil lifts her head, her ears ringing. She looks up. A dark figure hovers in the sky, shrouded in shadow. Kadaj, she breathes. No, Karda corrects grimly. That's Jadak. They watch as the figure floats there for a moment. Then, without warning, he turns and disappears into the sky. We have to find him, Karda says urgently. There could be trouble, for us or him, Yamil asks. The two exchange a sharing glance.